Hello, friends. Let's do the third chapter of this book, The One That Got Away. And what have we to remember to bring tomorrow? Mrs. Cooper asked. At 3:30. Malcolm, sitting near the back, wondered why she said she wasn't going to bring anything. What does these lines mean? That Mrs. Cooper asked the children at 3:30. She is a teacher who is asking the students that you have remember you have to bring something tomorrow. And Malcolm was a child who was sitting back. He wondered that why she said we when she was not going to bring anything. Something interesting, Mrs. Cooper said. Everyone else all together. This children they asked Mrs. Cooper that are we supposed to bring something interesting? And what are we going to do then? Then Mrs. Cooper said that stand up and talk about it. We have to stand up and talk about what we have brought. So don't forget, all right? Chairs on the tables, goodbye class 4. So they put their chairs on the table and the Mrs. Cooper says goodbye to class 4. Now, goodbye Mrs. Cooper. The class says goodbye Mrs. Cooper. Then goodbye everybody. All says goodbye and all. It all came out over so slow, like saying prayers in assembly. Amen, said Malcolm very quietly. They said their prayers. At the end we say the prayers na. And school, likewise the children they said prayers. And then class 4 put its chairs on the tables, collected its coat and went home. They all collected their coats and they went home, talking about all the interesting things they would bring into the school tomorrow. Okay, now here the word amen has come. What does amen means? It is said at the end of the prayer. It is used to agree with something, like we say ami. It's like that. Now come to the second page. Malcolm walked by himself. Mrs. Cooper had first told them to find something interesting on Monday. Now it was Thursday, and still he had not come up with any bright ideas. What these lines means is Malcolm was walking after school alone, and he was thinking that Mrs. Cooper had first told them to find something interesting on Monday. Now Thursday has arrived, and still he has not come up with any bright idea. There were plenty of things that he found interesting. He was finding plenty things interesting. But the trouble was, they never seemed to interest anyone else. Maybe Mrs. Cooper might have told the children to bring something interesting previously also. And he might have brought something which didn't interest the children. See, we will know this in the next line. Last time this had happened, he had brought along his favorite stone and shown it to the class. Malcolm had brought along a favorite stone and shown it to the class. Very nice, Malcolm, Mrs. Cooper had said. Now, tell us what is interesting about it. Mrs. Cooper asked him to say something interesting about the stone. He hadn't known what to say. Malcolm was not sure what to say about it because he was thinking that anyone looking at the stone could see how interesting it was. Why should he explain about it then? Like that he thought. Mary was going to bring her gerbil. What is gerbil? Gerbil is a small animal like a mouse. James, Sarah and William had loudly discussed rare shells and fossils and the only spider in the world with 5 legs. What Sarah and William excitedly discussed about rare things such as shells, fossils, and also about a spider who has only 5 legs. It can't be a spider then, said David, who was eavesdropping. David was listening to their conversation. What is eavesdropping? To listen to the conversation without people knowing that he is listening. Okay, and he said that it can't be a spider then if it had only 5 legs. Then William explained that it had an accident, so it is having only 5 legs. Isobel wanted to bring her pocket calculator and show how it could write her name by punching in 738051 and turning it upside down. Now Isobel wanted to bring a pocket calculator And when she types 738051 and turn it upside down, it looks like her name Isobel. She did this every time, but it still looked interesting. Malcolm could think of nothing. When he reached home, he went up to his bedroom and looked at shelf where he kept important things. His twig that looked like a stick insect, his marble that looked like a glass eye, the penny with a hole in it, and twin jelly babies, one red, one green, and stuck together back to back. He noticed they were now stuck to the shelf too. What Malcolm was having these things. There was a stick insect, and there was a marble that looked like a glass eye, the penny with a hole in it, maybe a coin which is having a hole in it, and twin jelly babies. It's it is jelly chocolate, I guess. Jelly chocolate, yeah. One red and one green, and it was stuck because it was made of jelly, and it was also stuck to the shelf now. To his shelf also, that chocolate has stuck. His stone had once been there as well, but after class 4 had said it was boring, he had put it back in the garden. He still went to see it sometimes. The stone which he brought to the class last time when Mrs. Cooper asked to bring something interesting which did not interest other children, that stone he has put it in the garden, and he still went to see it sometimes. What he really needed was something that could move about, like Mary's gerbil or William's five-legged spider. He sat down on his bed and began to think. He was thinking that he must take something which can move, like Mary has its pet gerbil, mouse-like animal, and William having a pet five-legged spider. So he wanted to get something like that. On Friday after assembly, class 4 began to be interesting. Mary kicked off with the gerbil that whirled around its cage like a hairy balloon with the air escaping. The gerbil moved quickly around its cage, making noise like hairy balloon losing air. And then they saw William's lame spider, the spider which had only 5 legs, James' fossil, Jason's collection of snail shells stuck one on top of another like the Leaning Tower of Pisa. The shells were on one above the other, and they were looking like a Leaning Tower of Pisa. And David's bottled beans that he had kept in an airtight jar for 3 years. David had kept some beans in an airtight jar for 3 years, and they were still as glossy as new shoes. The beans looked shiny like the new shoes. Okay. Then it was Malcolm's turn. He went up to the front and held out a matchbox. He had chosen it very carefully. What does this mean? That it was Malcolm's turn, and he walked to the front of the class holding a small matchbox. He had chosen it very carefully. Okay, it was a kind with the same label and top and bottom, so that when you opened it, you could never be sure that it was the right way up and all the matches fell out. What does these means? That the matchbox had the same label on both sides. So when you open it, you didn't know which side was up, and the matches inside all spilled out by mistake. Malcolm opened it upside down and jumped. Malcolm accidentally opened it in the wrong way, and he jumped in surprise. Okay. Mrs. Cooper jumped too, because even the teacher, Mrs. Cooper, got frightened and jumped. Malcolm threw himself down on hands and knees and looked under her desk. Malcolm quickly got down on his knees and started looking under the teacher's desk. What's the matter? Mrs. Cooper asked. Mrs. Cooper asked, "What's wrong with you?" "It's fallen out," Malcolm cried. Okay, Malcolm shouted, "It's fallen out." "What is it?" Mrs. Cooper said, edging away. Mrs. Cooper, slowly moving away from the desk, asked, "What is it?" Because she was frightened, no? She don't know what has fallen out. Then Malcolm said, "I don't know. It's got 6 legs and sharp knees and sort of really ginger eyebrows on stalks." He pounced. "There it goes." Malcolm said, "I don't know what it is, but it has 6 legs, sharp knees, and funny orange eyebrows on sticks." Then he quickly jumped as if he saw it again and said, "There it goes." "Where?" "Missed it," said Malcolm. "It's running under your chair, Mary." Someone asked, "Where is it?" And Malcolm replied that, "I missed it. Now it's running under your chair, Mary." Mary squeaked and climbed on the table because she thought that was the right way to behave when creepy crawlies were about. So what does this mean? Mary let out a little scream and climbed up on the table. She thought that that's what people should do when there are creepy bugs around. Okay. "I see it," Jason yelled and jumped up and down. David threw a book in the direction that James was pointing, and James began beating the floor with a rolled up comic. So, what does this mean? That David threw a book toward where James was pointing, and James started hitting the floor with rolled up comic book to try and kill the bug. All these children, they are pretending that something is there, okay? "I got it, I killed it," he shouted. Someone shouted that, "I got it, I killed it." "It's crawling up the curtains," Sarah said. And Mrs. Cooper, who was standing by the curtains, moved rapidly away from them. Sarah said, "It's crawling up the curtains." Mrs. Cooper, who was near the curtains, quickly moved away from them. "It's over by the door," Mary shrieked, and several people ran to head it off. Chairs were overturned. What happened? Mary screamed. What she screamed? "It's by the door." Lots of kids ran to stop it, and some chairs got knocked over in the class. Okay, so that's why it said that chairs were overturned. Malcolm stood by Mrs. Cooper's desk with his matchbox, and his contribution was definitely the most interesting thing that anyone had seen that morning. He was only sorry he hadn't seen it himself. What Malcolm brought was definitely the most exciting and interesting thing that had happened in the class in that morning. Okay, and Malcolm felt a bit sad that he didn't actually see the bug himself. So, what we have learned is Malcolm pretended that something scary had come out of his matchbox, and something like a strange, creepy insect, but he never actually saw anything. He was just acting, maybe to have fun or get attention, and other children joined in. Even though no one saw a real bug, the other children played along. Like some was screaming, jumping on the table. Jason shouted that he saw it. David threw a book. Like that, all children, they pretended that something is there. Okay, so it was at the end of the story was funny. So we end this story over here. Do subscribe, like, and share this video.